And my grandson, future legend, whether he fucking likes it or not. I know a lot of people think you should have choice. I believe too much choice is a bad thing. Because invariably, you're going to make the wrong decision at the wrong time. And in some cases, fuck your life up forever. It normally starts with who you're going to marry. For the wrong reasons. And for the guys, just to get your willy wet. It's the primary motivation. I can't speak to the girls. I can, but I haven't raised a daughter to adulthood. But we're brought innocent to this life, then life happens. Most info given ref success is wrong unless you are lucky enough to have a high-performing parents. You are forged by what you have seen and done. Seen and done in your entire lives. What have you experienced? Weak, lackluster parents. No high-performance role model, low bar of expectations, little or no accountability, little or no responsibility, leading to little or no accomplishments, leading to our snowflake, woke, fucked up society. Now, back in the day, when my dad got out of the military in the Second World War, he made $140 a month. That's not too many zlots as a cop. I remember the first day I made $2,000 in a day, 1971. I remember I went out and celebrated, got drunk on my ass. I remember falling down and ripping my suit, which is about $15,000 in 2024 money. I remember the first day I went and made $10,000 in a day. 1974 is equal to about $63,000 in today's dollars. I remember the first day I made 100 million pounds in a day. 100 million pounds in a day, about $315 million. There's a check, the first check I got. I look pretty fucking happy, don't I? You're goddamn right I was. It is one thing to study war and another thing to live the warrior's life. Listening to podcasts, reading books, and going to seminars, talks like this doesn't mean shit. Most of you are not going to take any action. If you think listening to a podcast is taking action, God help you. It's like listening to your mother-in-law. Have you ever got any useful goddamn information from your mother-in-law? No. Because you're desperate to fit in and you'd rather be liked than effective. My dad was hanging me out when I was a kid. I'm 13 years old there with a lion. That happens to be the great-great-grandson of Jackie the Lion. You've seen Metro-Goldwyn movies. And then as I grew up, I did a lot of things. I wasn't afraid. Sally was there, if you can see her in the background. We went to Rwanda and trekked with the silverback gorillas, which is an experience of a lifetime. If you ever have enough money, even if you don't have enough money, you got to borrow money to go do it. Silverback gorillas. Now he's got the life. That big guy only fornicates, eats, and sleeps. That's it. He's got 12 or 14 wives that are always nudging him. You know, it's a perfect life. And Sally and I have trekked and walked with the lions. He wasn't too happy. And a buffalo did run over me, but this buffalo, I couldn't shoot this buffalo. I felt sorry for him. That's when I knew it was time to stop hunting. This was about 30 plus years ago. Now, the real story is, how did I get away from this fucking animal with a guy with a camera behind me? We're climbing up trees and anything, but anyway, I didn't shoot that guy. He's ready to tear my head off, though. And I still do crazy things. And you notice that the ropes aren't around my ankles because they were afraid the snap at the bottom of my knees and my hip would come out. So they wrapped it around my waist. That was in New Zealand a few years ago. And there's a neat tower in Las Vegas that you can jump off about 900 feet, which I jumped off of not too long ago. And yes, I was scared. All these things I was afraid. Every single one of them. But I still did it. Being afraid is okay. It's the actions you take after being afraid. Because at my age, I shouldn't be jumping out of towers. And when I landed from the tower, even though on YouTube it shows me landing like this, that's a lie. I didn't land I landed on my head and shoulder. But I decided for posterity I didn't need to be landing on my head and shoulder. So we cut that part out and we glued it back together so I'm landing on my feet because I lost my balance. One of the things that when you get to be my age, your balance is impaired a little. And when you come out of a tower like that, my balance was impaired a lot. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Leadership, command. Life allows few intimacies. It's lonely at the top. And we know the world's all fucked up, wars and stuff like that. I drove by another university here. 35 people went to the hospital. 734 needed crisis counseling. 429 needed a safe area or a room. Classes were canceled for a week. When I come to campus, that's what happens. If your adult child needs a safe space to avoid offensive words, you failed as a parent. If anything in my seminar offended you, blame your parents for raising a pussy. Now, when you see kids, they're always smiling at this age. Unless they have crap in their pants or something, right? What happens? You happen as a parent. 3 years old, they're still pretty happy slapping, unless they've shit their pants. Then what happens? You happen as a parent. 7 years, they're still happy slapping. Self-esteem is built between the first 7 or 8 years of life. First 7 or 8 years of life. You either feel good about yourself or you don't. If you were immature like me, it's 8 or 9. 15 years old, shit hits the fan. They blame it on hormones. No. Now you fucked them up for 15 years as parents. Most of you in this room have that much baggage on your back. All negative. And Sally and I, who lived in India, have seen bigger stacks of baggage than that. American symbols of manhood, from G.I. Joe to Pajama Boy. Aren't we proud? Men back in the days, men today. Fuck. If love got the job done, most parents would have produced high performance. It doesn't. 87% of the world, as of last year, Gallup poll, are unhappy. I'm surprised it's only 87%. Life expands and contracts with courage through pain. No, but none of you want it. Now, that's my dad when he was 24. That's my dad when he was 90. See, just looking at that picture of him, it scares me. He was a rough motherfucker. And all the guys that were his mates from the Korean War and the World War II were just like him. This is an awful story, but true. In the early 60s, one of my dad's best buddies, his daughter allegedly was raped. And she named the guys, and they were in jail. And so this guy was a cop like my dad was. In fact, he was a sheriff. He wasn't a cop, sheriff. And he went to the prison, the jailhouse, and he talked to the jailer and said, I want to go in there and beat on him, whatever. So he went in, and he killed all 7. Reloaded his gun a couple times, boom, 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 killed them all. Years later, on her 25th birthday, or when her first baby was born, whatever, the girl says, Dad, I have something to tell you. I lied. They didn't rape me. I fucked at 7, I would have fucked 77 that night. Just think about that. Now, I know the guy that killed him, so he didn't lose 1 ounce of sleep. I know that. This guy was an animal like my father. And you read about these girls, mostly. I tell Sally, and again, I was taken advantage of a long time ago by three women. I had to go back, 2 are still alive, and go back and ask for reparations, compensation. These women, 40, 50, 80, 90 years later. I know it's brave of them and all, but Jesus Christ. That girl had 1 kid, never had another kid, fucked up her marriage. She ultimately died from an overdose. But you told your father that they raped you. But it was a lie. To protect or cover up the fact that you were loose. Do they still call women loose? Easy? They don't call women that if they screw everybody? There's no bad thing, you can screw everybody here? We're moving. Isn't it still considered poor choice if a woman fucks 400 or 500 people? Yeah, the older woman says, yeah, okay. Now, that's not much of an exaggeration to my father. That's what he looked like. He had a 56-inch chest, mine's 53, and he had 28-inch waist, I'm a 40-inch waist, and he had 18-inch arms, and he never lifted a weight. And he was a gymnast, a world-class gymnast. So when he told me to do something, I did it. No questions. My mother used to say, thank God we didn't have a girl. That's what she used to say, pray at Mass. Thank God we didn't have a girl, meaning how he would have treated a sister. Father was an extraordinary man's man, not such a good father. I'm indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well, Alexander the Great. We're shackled by our dad's sins. When one has not a good father, one must create one. Children begin by loving their parents. After a time, they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Frederick Douglass. Sigmund Freud, being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. I cannot think of any need in a childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Many of you in this room didn't get it. I got an overdose. I could make up for the protection almost everybody in this room didn't get, that I got. Now, there's a black, an Asian, and a white person there. My wife says that I have an arthritic back because of all the tens of thousands of people I've pulled over the goal line in the last 30 years. Psychology of the high performer. Most of you, and I'm not being braggadocious, I'm the only high performance person you've ever seen, heard of, or got close to. That's sad. But that's where we are in the world. Now, I would all recommend, in addition to the book that my promoter is selling, there's a thing called QLA for Dummies on my website. Not if you're retarded, I don't mean that way, but for dummies. Because from where you are and where I am, there is a quantum leap. And you don't jump a quantum leap in 2 jumps. You have to jump it in a chasm in 1 leap. So you need some groundwork. It's all free. And I have countless tests free, success tests, optimism tests, pessimism tests, snowflake tests, and super success tests. Extinction learning, this is overcoming fear by positive experiences, which isn't easy if you've never thrown yourself. All my life, all Jeff's life, all Elon's life, they've thrown themselves into the breach where the odds were 90% against them. You're taught just the opposite. You're taught to look for the safe bet. Well, the safe bet, you'll still be sitting here. My great-grandson, will be coming here to the university when the school's been around another 40 years, and you still will not pull your thumb out of your ass. What gets measured gets accomplished. That goes without saying. Accountability. The self-esteem has to be earned. Again, that's when I got awarded by the Queen. We know that. Now, we're getting ready. It's like sex. It comes all at the end here. You're not here listening to me because I've known these presidents, okay? You're not here because I've known these secretaries of state in America. You're not here because I've known prime ministers, generals, governors, blah, blah, blah. That's not why you're here, okay? At least I hope that's not why you're here. You're nowhere on that list of, the largest economies by GDP. And you're not going to be on that list for any time soon, as good as it is. So if you're happy where you are, you probably didn't need to come here. I'll be more polite. I'll even stretch it. It was a mistake to come here. If for some reason, on God's green earth, getting less green, I'm the wrong fucking guy. I'm the wrong guy. Now, could I turn you into, let's say, be a large company? A company of man-eater killers? No. Russia invades Poland. Not such a far stretch. Could I get 15 or 20 of you? Yeah. In ancient times, the Trojans would take the children away from their mothers after they're 7, 8, 9 years old. Self-esteem is built for 7, 8, 9 years. And they would throw the ones that weren't right in a ditch, let them die. Okay, so how many 7, 8 of you, 9 years old, are trainable? I don't know. But the good news about the book and my site is the good and the bad news. The good news and the bad news, there's no time limit. I would rather the book disintegrate in 6 weeks. And you had to punch a computer to do something, I would rather that my free website shuts down on yours if you haven't done anything. And we have people that come to my site 200 times a week. And do nothing. 200 times. I've checked with Google, can we, 10,000? No, it's 200 is the limit that they can keep track of. Right now, we have some people in this room that may have not read 700 books, but when you compare somebody that's read 700 books to doing 700, and I've done tens of thousands of deals, who's going to know more? Success leaves clues. We know startups fail the first year. Now that's Jeff. Does anybody in the room know the first acquisition Jeff made? Bezos. The fastest growing, most profitable, can have a set of knee pads. Because he and his 2 employees used to wrap packages with their knees on the cement. So the first acquisition was 3 sets of knee pads, which Jeff didn't want to buy. They were about $10 a pair then, back 25, 26 years ago. That was the first acquisition he ever made. 3 sets of knee pads. And of course, then he built a yacht in the Netherlands that the yacht was too big to get out of the harbor, for those of you that read about it. Now, I would have fired a lot of people over that. Believe you me. I spent $600 or $700 million on something, and then you can't get it out of the fucking harbor. A lot of engineers made a lot of mistakes. So even, but I want you to take action when you leave here. Being honest may not get you many friends, but it'll always get you the right ones. John Lennon, who I never knew. The first method of estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he surrounds himself with. Again, if I judged you by the 5 guys or gals or in-betweens that you spend most of the time with, would I judge you poorly Same goes for everybody in the room. Probably poorly. My other virtual idol, Andrew Carnegie. Henry Ford, a ruthless bastard. Rockefeller, a ruthless bastard. Steve Jobs, a ruthless bastard. At Apple, CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 a.m. and previously held Sunday night staff meetings by telephone to prepare for the next week. Cook shared in May 2013 that his leadership focused on people, strategy, and education. He explained, if you get those three right, I believe that two of those three are superfluous. It's the people. Amazon, brutal workplace, everybody knows that. Zuckerberg said, which I find amusing, and I got banned from Facebook after this was posted, you can be unethical and still be legal. That's the way I live my life. I got banned from Facebook after I posted that. Elon and Musk, we've talked about. We've grown too fucking soft. We all know that. We all know that. I alluded to that. They both have share 5-minute meetings. That's it. I've turned little skinny guys into champion archers. I've taken 150 pounds off college professors at Columbia. I turned that. We know that. We know all this. Multimillionaire. We know all that. Okay. The biggest steal in recorded history. We know that. We know all that. Now, in closing, the good news is most of you in this room are introverts. 98% of all high-performance people are introverts. Everybody understand that? They're like you. They wouldn't say shit if it was in your mouth. That's the definition of an introvert. 98% of all the high-performance people are introverts. Very few are loudmouth, pushy bullies like me. But when it comes down to we're in a foxhole, and the Ruskies are coming over the walls, I'm the one you want in the fucking foxhole. Not Zuckerberg. Not Elon. We went through all that. Naval Academy. That's what I want you to leave you with, that thought. I want you to snort that shit like the cocaine you did yesterday. And I could get piles of your currency, I guess. Maybe that's more currency that's around in Poland, so maybe I couldn't get piles of that currency. I want you to go home and be selfish. I want you to go home and be greedy. I want you to go home and have the most important person in your life be you. All the rest is bullshit. Money is dirty. Money is the root of all evil. Money is not important. Money makes you a bad person. Money blinds you from the truth. Money makes you greedy. Other values are more important. That's all excuses that you've heard all your life. Now, some of you may think I personify many of those, which I do. I'm proud of it. But how has your program worked out to date? It hasn't. How has your program worked out? I know how mine has, and I know what my program has done for millions of people. It's worked. Surround yourself with those on the same mission as you. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Association equals power. You hang out with monkeys, your life becomes a circus. Success is like being pregnant. Everybody says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. We're born limitless. We have limiting beliefs from our family. We're releasing, not gaining emotional baggage. What learned can be unlearned. Stay aware of limiting beliefs of others. Get in touch with your emotions. Get mentors. Now, What the fuck happened? What? Please. And there are places that are worse than Poland. These guys don't come to my talks. He said he couldn't get a job because Trump's a racist. Or as Pope John said, totus tuus, it's all yours now, who I believe was Polish, but it's your start. It's the end, but it's your new beginning. That's not necessary, but thank you.